Stay low, stay low.
Welcome to Columbus, Ohio, where for Anthony Rodman, it's just another day at the office. Well, not quite. His day begins at 3:30 a.m., and by 5 a.m., he's putting some of the nation's young basketball stars through the most grueling training regimen you can imagine. It goes from the gym, to the sand, to the hill, and back to the gym, all in the same day. Why does he do it, you might ask? Because roughly 10 years ago, he was in the same position as these young men, focused on getting to the NBA. Just like these young athletes, he was taught that faith plus determination would equal success. The problem was, he didn't believe it.
I used to say the right thing because I was trained to, but I didn't really understand or believe it. So my whole mindset was, I'm going to the NBA, I'm gonna get paid, take care of my family, and have fun. But I was trained to say, I'm gonna do it for the Lord. So I would say it, but it wasn't in my heart yet, and that was the issue.
Anthony's hoop dreams began while he was in middle school. By the time he graduated from high school, he had offers to play for Brown University in Marshall. But they didn't quite work out. So he spent 2 years at a junior college, which led to a full scholarship to play for Louisiana Lafayette. Now that he was closer to his dream, he was even further away from God.
God was in the far back burner at this time. I wasn't really doing anything crazy what the world says is crazy, but at God's standards, I was not doing what he needed me to do. And when he kept telling me, I need you to come back to me, I need you to come closer to me, come closer to me. I hear you, Lord, but I'm going to the league. I'll talk to you when I get there. And God said, I need to get your attention. I need to get your attention. And basketball at that time was my God.
With God on the back burner, Anthony pressed ahead toward his goal.
I had a great team. They just went to a tournament the year before. And all they needed was a point guard. So that was the final piece. And then right before the season started, I broke my ankle.
With a broken ankle, Anthony couldn't perform on the court. In the end, he lost his scholarship and had to return home.
So I was more angry at the school, more angry at myself for getting hurt, angry at God not understanding. So it really just wasn't, I was just angry at that point. Didn't know why, what was going on.
It seemed that all was lost, but Anthony kept his focus on getting to the NBA. He wasn't home long before one of the local colleges, Urbana University, offered him a spot on their team. It wasn't exactly his first choice, but he accepted. While he was there, he was watching TV one night and he heard a man that put life into perspective for him.
And I just woke up in the middle of the night, and it's the first time in my whole life, I grew up in a church my whole life. It's the first time I was like, this is it. This is it. So I come home, I asked my stepfather, I said, man, this is guy I heard, he has this real funny accent, man, but he talked about the kingdom of God. And the first time in my life, I felt like this was right. He's like, I love that guy. That's Myles Munroe.
Anthony listened to more from Dr. Myles Munroe and decided to give his life to the Lord. His outlook on life had changed, as well as his goal. His desire to play in the NBA had developed into something new.
And then right before I graduated from Urbana, God gave me another dream. He said, I want you to create this facility. I want you to train up athletes, and I want you to build them up in this sports, media, entertainment. And I want you to build them up for the kingdom of God.
During his graduation party, Anthony received just enough money to start his business, and In God's Image Sports Training was born.
And I just went, and I didn't have any clients, didn't have any money, I didn't have a car, I had nothing. So I said, Lord, whatever you want me to do, I'll go.
Two of his first clients were Darian Carthorne and Trey Burke, who was selected in the first round of this year's NBA draft. What started with them now has grown into this, a brotherhood that's mended by God, sweat, and dedication to each other and the game of basketball.
What is that you want these young men to get from In God's Image?
I want them to understand who they are as kings, sons of the Most High God. I want them to use the platform of this game called basketball to spread the message and change the culture around them so we can resemble our God the King like we're supposed to. I want those young men to imagine what they could accomplish if fear was not an option, and to understand when impossible becomes normal.